What's up, everybody? This is In the Pocket, where we talk about the things and people around sports that you want to talk about. I'm Big Bob. That's Maestro. Maestro, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm hanging in there playing a little bit hurt tonight here today, but I got you with me, so it's all good. How you feeling, Big Boo?
I am doing great. I'm feeling good. Figure we're gonna. I know we said we were gonna do an extra episode. Obviously, life gets a little crazy sometimes, but Maestro, Lucas, tonight is your night. We're gonna
Lucas.
we're gonna dive
Lucas.
into our mock draft. Now, depending on how long it runs, we may or may not break it up into two episodes, uh, because sometimes we can be concise with our thoughts, and sometimes we can spend the
Not.
first 75 minutes of an episode talking about absolutely nothing.
the word the word butter.
The word butter. But yeah, so Maestro, let's go ahead and jump right in with our. This is gonna be the In the Pocket mock draft number 1 with that first overall pick. You're the GM of the Las Vegas Raiders. Who you taking?
So just so we won't have to get into it later, you and I have done this before for our new viewers who might not know. Like, my philosophy is I look at the team, I look at what they did the year before, and I'm one of those GMs that I go by. I really try to balance out what is available in free agency, what positions are of value in the draft, and what do I see coming out of college that I might be able to work with. Now, that being said, this draft, Big Bob, how do you feel? I feel like this draft is light, and I promise I promise not to drag on about this, but I really feel. And I think it's because, and I'll tell you why I feel it's light, because I like to always tell everybody why. I feel the amount of inter-team, inter-conference, inter even level motion that happened between transfer portal, straight NIL switches, that very few teams have been consistent over the last 2 years. And I am not a fan of somebody having this one great season. Oh, they've arrived. I'm not that cat. So my picks are going to come from people I've seen play, seen play for the last couple of years at least, and that have been impactful. So that's where I'm starting from. How do you feel about this draft before I get into my pick?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always going to be surprises. You never know what's going to happen until they actually hit the field. But I feel like there's not a whole lot of for sure, this is how this team is going to draft. Now, I do want people to know, again, for those that don't know Maestro and myself from before, when we do this, we are not, and we talked about this before, we are not going to draft based off of what the other mock drafts say, what other people are saying is going to happen. We are going to act like we were the GM and we are building this team, so we have our own philosophies on things. For example, you're probably not going to see us have 5 quarterbacks going in the top 15 just because the team needs a quarterback. Because if we were the GM, we understand that you can take a generational talent and put them behind a paper bag offensive line, and you're going to be drafting another quarterback in 2 years because that's just the way the things are nowadays. So, yeah, I want to say again, I feel like I don't know if I want to say it's light, but I know that it's more even across the field with the players that are
Okay.
available. We'll say
You know
that.
what? You know what? I can agree with that. I can agree with that without any hassle. Okay, so here we go. I'm hopping right into it. The very first pick of the 2026 draft, the Las Vegas Raiders take C.J. Allen, Georgia linebacker. Now, tell you why he's my guy. Yes, he's from my school. Yes, I watched every game at least 3 times that he played over the last 3 seasons. Yes, I watch my Big Bob and I watch a lot of college football. And the great thing about streaming today is you can watch even conferences you don't normally watch.
Yeah.
But I would say, but I would say something about C.J. Allen. When I see him play, I'm reminded of players that were being banged on because they were supposedly so small. I think of Ray Lewis. See, we can talk about all these Hall of Fame cats we want to. Go back and look at their scouting reports when they came out. Ray Lewis, too small, not consistent, too tight, not able to cover. He's very instinctual, and he can actually play going forward and going backwards, so he can play on his toes and on his heels. And he was also very solid against the run with his awareness. Guess what? That's C.J. Allen right there. Look at what people said about Warren Sapp, which to me makes no sense because you saw what he did at the U when he was there. You know, he's the reason that The Rock became a professional wrestler. When you looked at what he did, I don't see how anybody had any doubts about Warren Sapp, but that's just me. I don't mind having undersized linebackers that are instinctual, that can play solid and play thicker than their size. And he's that guy for me. Haven't seen him do it against a top level competition. Haven't seen him go up and cover wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. Haven't seen him do delayed blitzes from his position as linebacker. And the way the team coalesced around him, even early, even when I think he was a freshman, people were still willing to listen to him on that team that was coming off of those double national championships. It just that tells me a lot about who he is and what he can be, and I believe that that's going to translate for a team like the Raiders, where I can really build a solid defense around that. Because to me, what the Raiders need offensively, they can get in free agency or later in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I am surprised at this pick. Not a guy that I really had going there, but uh, he plays all over the field as a linebacker. He does. He's going to be going up there trying to stop the run. He's going to be dropping back into pass coverage. He's going to do what you want him to do on the field.
Every down
Every down.
and every down.
Yep. I personally would have gone offensive line for the Raiders here. I know the talking heads absolutely love going Mendoza here, but they had one of the worst offensive lines in the
Yes,
NFL
that's
last
true.
season. And again, if anybody knows me and Maestro, we will continuously pound you need to build the offensive line before you get that quarterback back there.
Amen.
Which rolls right into pick number 2, the New York Jets. And they will take, since he fell to them, what a drastic fall, Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. I know, Maestro, you absolutely hate this pick, but to me, I believe he's a prototypical quarterback with some athleticism. I mean, that's quarterbacks nowadays. I'm not going to call him Josh Allen. I don't like comparing. It sucks comparing these kids to
Oh yeah, I know these
elite
established guys.
player,
I think
these
that's
established
yeah.
guys. Yeah, but I
Hmm.
do think the way that he is able to carry the team when he needs to, he's like Josh Allen. He put Indiana on his back in the national championship game. That gutsy fourth down play, the quarterback draw, such an amazing play call, not something anybody expected. And it's one of those things where you always, in those situations, you're like, you have to expect the unexpected, but he just absolutely, and it is not like it was easy. He had to shed some tackles, and he had to contort his body. He was going to score a touchdown on that play no matter what. The New York Jets, contrary to popular belief, and me and Maestro talked about this a little bit before the show, and it just shows you the people that talk about sports, the ones that get paid millions and millions of dollars to talk about sports, clearly do not actually watch the teams. The Jets didn't have a terrible offensive line this year.
No, no.
Um, they could potentially go another offensive lineman somewhere just to beef up a little bit, but I think that they have the offensive line to be able to build around a quarterback. Now, I do think that the Jets could potentially take a playmaker here because I do think that this is a particular draft class where you're probably going to get a starter in the second or third round, or you have got I still do have faith in my guy Drew Allar from Penn State, who he is going to fall because of his injury and because he didn't have a great year this season with Penn State prior to the injury. People have concerns about his playmaking decision. James Franklin, while he is an amazing recruiter, he isn't necessarily known for preparing good
Good point.
quarterbacks at the
Great.
next
Oh,
level.
great. Oh,
And
nail the point. Nail the
I
point.
I will always point back to Christian Hackenberg, and I will always say if Bill O'Brien had remained with Penn State for two more seasons, Christian Hackenberg would have been the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. Um, again, but he didn't do much with the high level guys, but then he did so much with the guys that you didn't expect. Your Sean Cliffords, your Trace McSorleys, and that's what's so weird about him is he did more with less, but did way less with more. It's such a
Right,
weird he
right,
was
right.
such a weird thing. But yeah, for me, I know that you don't think he's gonna amount to much in the NFL, but I do got to go with the Jets for Mendoza at number two.
Well, you know what? And I don't mind saying this because I felt the same thing about Mark Sanchez.
Mm.
And if you would have told me, listen, if you would have told me, and by the way, I have receipts for this. I banged on that pick for months. But if you would have told me, and I've said it and I'll say it again, that his first 2 years, the Jets would at the very least get to the AFC title game, I would have signed on that with the blood of my oldest and youngest child without any hesitation. And guess what? He got us there both his years. You know, now as a quarterback, he would not have been my choice there. I would kind of want somebody bigger for the Jets. I might even want to go old school, kind of bring back the whole thing. I might have gone with like the guy from Alabama, or even Simpson or Nussmeier from LSU. But I would have probably gone on the defensive side because what stat did you talk about the Jets had for the only team in NFL history to not have a what?
Yeah, yeah. Now you make me second guess my pick a little bit. But yeah, no zero interceptions in an entire season. It's kind of a crazy stat.
Do, and okay, so let's live in this for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not Leon, my man. I promise, because you are our quadruple diamond gold platinum member, and we appreciate you so much. So I promise not to go off the rails. But think about how nearly impossible that is unless you're trying to not have an interception. How many interceptions did you see happen just because the earth moving at a certain speed that day? I mean, I love when a D lineman gets an interception. I love when a D lineman has a chance to actually run and score a touchdown. I get more excited about that. My favorite play in football is the safety. Don't ask. We don't have enough time for that therapy. However, one thing I love is when a big dude gets an interception, has a chance to go score. That being said, how many times have you seen a ball hit off a helmet? The wide receiver goes down, the ball bounce off his belt buckle, and some other cat, and the Jets had zero. I'm sorry. I would I would have to reset. And granted, because the defensive backfield was so weak for the Jets, the one defensive player they had worth anything, the other teams can stay away from. That being said, I would try to find somebody to take over the other half of the field. Anyway, that's me. That's where I'm at. I promise. Okay, boom, I'm out. I'm out. That's it.
No, yeah, and there are some good corners in this class. There's
Yes.
obviously we got
Yeah.
a nice safety sitting up there in Caleb Downs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean those can't go wrong with any of those picks either. But let's move on from the heartbreak, Maestro.
Move on.
You got
So,
Arizona Cardinals at number three.
Arizona. So here we go. Does Arizona need a quarterback? Yes, they do. However, and I told you who I would look at, who I would think about in this particular spot. But the reason I'm not is because of I think Arizona has an opportunity to really build around somebody. And I think there's enough young cats that will be available, enough young established quarterbacks that will be available in free agency that would do good for Arizona. that I would necessarily have to draft, even though I know who if I was drafting, well, I am drafting here, and I could go draft only, but I am going to go off the rails and get a wide receiver, a difference making wide receiver, and the wide receiver is Makai Lennon, uh, from oh my goodness, where did he play?
USC.
USC. Thank you, USC. I will go him. Why? He reminds me a lot of this new breed of wide receivers that are really good after the catch. They're twitchy, they're quick. They also don't mind blocking, and this guy can break tackles. Now, granted, he was playing in the Pac 1.5, so
Hey, now they joined the Big
that
Ten.
okay,
They
so
joined
yeah,
the Big Ten. Been there for a couple.
okay, played the Big Ten. So the Pac 2. So so but seriously, to me he played against some solid defensive backfields. To me, he still was able to manage. You know, first of all, he gets off the line so fast, and that's something that for those of you who might not know how to like scout a wide receiver, look at their not their first step off the line, but their second step off the line. And why am I saying that? That tells you how fast they are into their route. Not the first step, but the second step. It's almost like a base stealer. The other thing is just watch how he fights for the ball. I love how he's willing to go gangster to get the ball. And to me, if I have him and I get a quarterback that has 1 or 2 years under their belt that I can say, listen, this is your team. We're going to build a team around you. This is what we're going to do. Because to me, that's the kind of leadership that Arizona needs on that side of the ball. I think they can create enough interesting defense to make it happen. But I think a player like him would make a difference for a 2 or 3 year player that's a free agency at I'm sure a 3 or 4 year player that's hitting free agency at this point or available that has NFL experience, and I can build my team around him, especially if I'm not going to stick with the current cat who likes to play PlayStation or whatever, but Kyler Murray, um, who's been a major disappointment for me personally because I had another expectation of what I thought he was going to be, but I was also wrong about Russell Wilson too. So there we go.
Yeah, I this is one of those situations. I do want to say I should have said this in the beginning. What I'm trying to do is assume that all of these teams, and we know this isn't going to happen, assume that all these teams are going to keep their key
Yes.
players around
Yeah.
for
Yes.
next season, and that
And
includes
that's a great point.
key free
That's a
agents,
great
and all
point.
that. However, the Cardinals are one of those teams where there's just so much smoke there that there has to be something. I mean, are they going to keep Kyler Murray? That has been the question for this is going into I think the third off season that we're questioning whether or not he's going to be there. The huge disappointment that they have seen so far from Marvin Harrison, and that's
Yeah.
why the lemon
Which is
pick
really
doesn't.
surprising, man.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yep.
surprising.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
expected
I
him.
didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off.
No, I expected him to come in and do some things. I mean, I've been expecting a lot of things from all the Ohio State wide receivers that have been coming out. But yeah,
Exactly.
there is a chance that that offense does look completely different, and that they're gonna have. Well, I mean, they have McBride, right? Trey McBride. That's
Yes.
a tight end. He is. I don't know. I don't know if he's in a contract year. I forget. He may or may not be. I don't know. Anyways, the rumor of Kyler Murray going to be traded, Marvin Harrison going to be traded. Is Kyler Murray going to be a Viking this upcoming season? Uh, I'm not going to say that I would hate that, but the kid needs to stay healthy and he needs to get his head in the game. Um,
Please.
yeah,
Please.
you
I
hate
get
seeing
get
wasted
so
talent.
mad. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't get mad. That speaks very ill of me. I
No,
get
but
so
it's
angry.
you
I
get
get so angry when I see a cat like him that has that kind of talent and that kind of ability. And you saw it in college. And to watch him by the way, go to a system that was made for him.
yeah, yep.
And to
Brought
see
in.
and
Didn't they
you
bring
know,
Cliff Kingsbury in the
yes. Yeah,
same
this
just to build that
thank
around
you.
for him?
Do you have it's not like he came to the Jets where they just go find somebody at the, like, on the, the A line, subway line.
They
And
swung
they say,
by Kmart and said, "Hey,
Hey,
bag boy."
hey, what you doing this Sunday? Come hang out. I'm sorry. You were that player in college, and and yes, I thought he was small, but there was a toughness about him that I really liked. Like the same thing I like about Russell Wilson, but I also like what appeared to be in a system where he was able to make quick decisions that benefited him. And he goes to the pros, and they build the offense around you with the same leadership in terms of people who are doing your X's and O's. And you play come on, man. I'm sorry. I got bass in my voice. I'm not feeling well. I'm feverish. I promise. I'm sorry. Leon, I'm sorry. I'm
Leo,
sorry.
who? Say his
I'm
name.
sorry.
Say his name
I'm
right.
sorry. I did it.
Lucas, he
See,
is sick, so I want to
Lucas.
apologize that he keeps
Yeah,
saying Leon.
Lucas.
He is very
Yeah,
sick.
Lucas.
He refused
Forgive
to
me, man.
postpone recording the episode until the next day
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. Because Lucas, you are our quadruple platinum diamond over the top member of the In the Pocket club. And by the way, you can use In the Pocket if you go to like any major restaurant. Go to In the Pocket. I mean, go there and use In the Pocket as the code word. You'll end up paying full price for the meal, but at least you get a chance to see the person being really confused. Or why did you say In the Pocket when you went there?
Hey,
I'm
someday,
sorry,
so
Lucas.
we're not going to go off the rails, but because I know that we will. I want to someday. I want to know why you thought Russell Wilson wasn't going to make it in the NFL. I'm not
No,
going
no,
to
no, no,
ask.
no, 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 no. I thought he was. I thought he
Okay,
was.
okay, okay.
No. I thought he was, but what he turned into was everything that I would have bet major capital that he was not. He turned into everything that I
You mean
said
the
he wouldn't be.
attitude and stuff like that?
Everything,
Yeah.
everything, just the attitude, his approach with his teammates. How again, not to go off the rails. Lucas, forgive your boy. Luke, please. I'm sorry, Lucas. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he was one of the. I know going in, people. I thought he was a steal in the third round because people kept
Mm,
pointing to, and I'm not going to get on again. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds. I'm watching the time right now.
okay, good.
uh, the size. He's too small. He's too small. He's too small. I will always point back to the fact you can't say that he was too small. That Wisconsin offensive line was the second biggest offensive line in all of football, including the NFL. The only offensive line that was bigger than Russell Wilson's Wisconsin offensive line was the Detroit Lions. That is the only offensive line that was bigger than Russell Wilson's his season at Wisconsin.
Mhm.
So I was tired of hearing about his size being, oh, he's too short, he's too short, he's not going to be able to see over the line. He did it at Wisconsin. Maybe when he was at NC State, you could have made those comments, and he
Yeah,
never.
a
If he
little
didn't
bit, a
transfer,
little bit.
you could have had some. You could have used that a little bit, but again, you take all of college football and all of the NFL, and the only offensive line that was bigger than his was the Detroit Lions. You can't use that argument. You just can't.
No, no, you
But
can't.
but
And oh, by the way, for our listeners and our viewers, we appreciate y'all so much. If you want to get an idea what a Wisconsin line is like, go to a mall where they have like a bank of vending machines, where you have like 3 or 4 vending machines in a row. Walk right up to one that
I get it now. I get it now.
walk right up to one that's still going to be your center and take 3 steps back and tell me how much of the wall can you really see. That's what a Wisconsin line is like. And oh, by the
They
way,
were those good old farm boys all across that
the
line.
girls, and by the way, the ladies in Wisconsin, because I did a basketball camp in Wisconsin, the ladies were not far behind them. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm back.
Well, moving on. Let's go ahead.
Moving.
I will shift over to my pick as the
Mm-hmm.
general manager of the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee Titans are such an interesting team. I know that I don't I really do hate the world we live in where you get the narrative of someone's not. Cam Ward is a rookie. He was a
Yes.
rookie,
Thank
and
you.
he
Preach.
deserves. And starting year one, he did some things that he did at Miami. Yes, he had his struggles. He absolutely had his struggles, but he still made some of those great athletic plays, making things look effortless whenever he was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck on this particular pick because one, you messed me up from pick number one, Maestro. My entire mock draft is out the window.
You're welcome. You're welcome, boo.
Thank
You're
you
welcome, my
so
boo.
much. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome, my boo.
But they do not have overall. Their offensive line was not great. They were in the lower half of the NFL last season. Obviously, there's all kinds of different ranking systems out there that people can look at, but just overall, they weren't a great offensive line. I'm
No.
stuck between whether we build up that offensive line a little bit more, or do we go in there and get him some weapons. Imagine if he still had some of those weapons from a couple. Imagine if AJ Brown was still there.
Oh my
Obviously,
goodness.
he has himself Calvin Ridley, but outside
Yeah.
of Calvin Ridley, they're not blowing the doors off of anybody. Um, again, they have an okay. They don't have an okay offensive line. I don't know why I don't know why I was about to lie and say that he had an okay offensive line. I'm rambling on because I'm rambling on because I'm stuck right now. So what
Yeah.
I'm going to do, and I am flipping my pick because I actually did initially consider having them take Carnell Tate out of Ohio
Oh.
State. But since you took my
Oh.
number one overall, you did not take my number one overall pick. He's still sitting there. I'm going to help the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward beef up that offensive line a little bit more. And I got to take the
Ooh.
tackle I think Maligoa
Ooh.
out of
Great.
Miami.
Great pick. Great
Um,
pick.
I did
Great
initially,
pick.
my pick was him going to the Raiders because those right. Oh man, that offensive line. I get people. Alshon Jeffrey. Oh, he's a bust. Blah blah blah. When you are handed the ball and you don't even have half of a quarter of a second to figure out what hole you're going to take because there is no hole, there's nothing you can do. I'm pretty sure there was a play where I think it was a quarter. I think it was a running back draw play, and three of the linemen slash ends slash rushers, whatever you want to call them nowadays, they were in the backfield before he even
Hmm.
got the ball.
Right.
And
Right.
so
Right. Even
I
before the
did,
play started to
yeah,
develop.
the
Yeah.
play they were faster than the offensive line. It should have been a false start. I'm
Hmm.
just kidding. No, but
Hmm.
I they need some weapons, more weapons for Cam Ward. Hey, maybe they end up with a Marvin Harrison or something like that. Maybe they trade for him. But yeah,
Good point.
with you knocking my whole draft out, I'm going to go with Maligoa for the Tennessee Titans and try and help out Cam Ward stay upright and not have to rush around a little bit. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of him standing still in the pocket nonchalantly, just launching the ball downfield because he has some time to think, some time to breathe.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, I'm going to help them solidify that offensive line a little bit more with that pick. I think overall, again, they need the help there.
Hmm.
They need the help. He improved as his years went on there at Miami. Obviously, his final season,
Agreed.
they went to the national championship. He gave up a couple of sacks the whole season, and which he improved from his.
I don't think those sacks are his fault.
Hey, yeah, I
I
mean
really don't.
overall, he just improved in pass coverage altogether, and that's just what
Hmm.
Cam Ward needs. Cam Ward needs some time to breathe back there. I do think that there are like three positions on offense that the Titans can go with here that you couldn't go wrong with. But number one is protecting that quarterback, so got to
Yeah.
stick with Miami's Maligoa.
So I'm tell you why I'm not saying that I don't believe that those sacks are his fault. The quarterback he had was at Georgia, Carson Beck, and Carson Beck had a habit of holding onto the ball for little more than a second too long sometimes, and we get it and run himself into trouble. So that's why I don't even attribute those sacks to him. I really don't. But anyway, that's just me. Moving on. So here we go. New York Giants. Um, I really think they have something in Jackson Dart. I think he's the kind of player that they can build a team around. I feel comfortable with that. That
There-
being
there-
said, I want to get him some.
Go ahead. No,
Uh-huh.
you go. Sorry, I
No,
didn't want to cut you. And they got some skill players out there. And
yes, yes, they do.
if they can stay healthy,
That's the trick. And you know what? Thank you for saying that, because that's also another assumption that Bob and I will make. I mean, everybody does, but we're just gonna be transparent about it. The idea of I generally stay away from players who have had health issues between high school and college. I do. I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair, but the toll on the body gets more, not less. And for instance, I guess give this example that the Atlanta Falcons with their quarterback now with his 17th knee surgery on his on his 12th knee. I, j- I like him. I really do. I love his arm. I love what he does. But I just, dude, I'm sorry. You're in a wheelchair most of the time. And I'm sorry, every game is too important. That being said, I think he's the right quarterback for the team if they can build an offense around him. Oh, the good thing about what you're talking about with Tennessee, with my favorite coach, Robert Saleh being there, he's definitely a holistic team builder. So, and I think it's going to be great where it's going to be there. So anyway, but back to New York
Sorry, I'm
Giants.
sorry I took you off the rails. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, look, that's so important. That's what we do. That's what we do. Here, I'm so glad you didn't take him because I wanted him here, and that is Carnell Tate. With the Giants. I know the Giants have some playmakers. I know they have some skilled players, but I think of those days when they had Plaxico Burris. Um, my goodness gracious, I can keep going down the list, but like they had Cruz, Burris, and I
Cruz
can't think
out
of
of
the other.
nowhere. I think it was
Yeah,
after
out of
that
no.
3-touchdown preseason game.
Mm, mhm. And listen, I'm sorry, I was there when when was it, I think it was Plaxico, not the year he shot himself in the butt, but but the Jets had the Giants pinned on their 2-yard line or 1-yard line, and they did a quick pressure out, and Plaxico took it to the house. He was like, basically the pass was a yard and a half, and Plaxico took it the rest of the way. All those receivers though had to sort of breakaway speed. And I think that Carnell Tate, I think he has that, and I think that he will bring that, and I think I think for a cat like Jackson Dart, who's going to have a better view of the field this year and be able to take his time a little bit more in terms of being able to process stuff a little bit faster, which means he'll have more time. Giving him more weapons, I think, would make them more dangerous because defensively, I think they were okay enough where they could they they can rejigger their defense, but I think that's what they were really missing, having threats that could take off both sides of the field and also take the top off of defense. So that's why he's my guy for there.
Yeah, and when you look at their team, I mean, having Malik Neighbors, Carnell Tate out there, if Scadaboo comes back and is able to stay healthy, which
Mhm.
hopefully he can, but hmm, some inappropriate jokes I would like to make funny to some people, offensive to others about Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah.
But if he can stay healthy, they do. They got it. They had a really, really, really solid rookie class this season.
Yes, they did.
This season, and I do think that giving him another weapon, you could improve the offensive line a little bit. But giving him another weapon, if he can stay healthy, great way to go. And Carnell Tate, like I said, he definitely, if it wasn't for you again messing up the whole mock draft, he would have been gone. However, him to the Giants to help out Jackson Dart is definitely a very very good pickup in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, but so moving on to the Browns now. This is where you
Mm.
got me all kinds of messed up. And you want to what's really interesting to me, and it's so interesting to me, is when you go around and you look at a majority of the uh, websites out there telling you what is the biggest need for the Cleveland Browns. Do you know how many of them have quarterback as one of their biggest needs when you
They have
know?
an all they have an all pro they have a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Stop it. Stop
I'm
it.
sorry. Too soon?
Stop.
Too soon? Okay. Okay. I sorry. I
Moving
sorry.
on. But no, they are clearly going to give Shador Sanders another season to see what he can do.
Why
There's
not?
no chance that they give they if it wasn't for Shador Sanders, Kevin Stefanski would probably still be there. Just being honest. If it
Hmm.
wasn't for the rumor that he was holding him back intentionally, trying to make him look bad, blah 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 blah, I truly believe that Kevin Stefanski would still be there. So there's no way you're going to let your coach go and then also not continue to put faith in the quarterback that you
Right.
put more faith in um, over that coach. Now,
Right.
they have some solid skill players. They really do. Uh, I don't know. Again, I'm assuming. I'm not worried about contracts and stuff. So where what I'm doing is assuming they're going to be able to bring their big guys back. They did a good job drafting. They got Judkins at running back. They got Jerry
Hmm.
Judy. Isaiah Bond. I know he went through his things, and then they picked him up once he was cleared and everything. I believe because I don't believe they drafted him. Um, I don't think they really have a. Um, actually, I don't. So here's where I'm stuck. If you look at the offensive line rankings, depending on the website you look at, they might have the worst offensive line in the NFL. Now,
Right.
what you have to think about though as well, Shador Sanders is known for holding on to the ball way, 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 way
Right.
too long.
He's
Um,
pretty.
but you look at if they're bringing the guys back, they don't have a terrible offensive line. Um, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin,
Oh,
if they're
yeah.
all coming back, they don't have a terrible offensive
No,
line. And again,
no.
it's one of those things where if you look at if you don't watch for those things and you just look at the numbers, you're going to go, yeah, hey, the Browns, terrible offensive line, take an offensive lineman. And there are some solid offensive linemen still left, some day one starters left right here. However,
Hmm.
when you, again, Shador Sanders, known for holding onto the ball way, way, way too long. I think, I have to, it's tough. I think I'm going to give him, oh, do I help Shador Sanders out? I don't
Mm.
know. Do I help him out? Maestro, you really messed me
Mm.
up with
You're welcome, boo.
with your pick.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, my boo.
I greatly appreciate it. But no, I am gonna after everything that I just said, I am actually going to go with a tackle for the Cleveland Browns. I do think that they could upgrade at one of the tackle spots in Cam Robinson, and you have to. And if they bring those weapons back on offense, then I think that they. You know what? I'm going Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. I can't. I just went on and on and on about about how their offensive line isn't that terrible. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it to myself, Maestro. I can't. So I do think I'm going to give them Jordan Tyson um, out of Arizona State. You got a solid 6'2" guy, 200 pounds. He is quick. He's very, very solid. He didn't have the best year in 2025. Um, he overall his numbers did dip a little
He
bit.
was hurt, wasn't he? Wasn't he hurt?
He did not play the whole season. He did not play
Right.
the whole season at all. So he did miss a couple of games. I'm not sure if that was early on or I don't remember if it was early on or not. But I do think that you got to get Shador another weapon out there. If Jerry Judy's
Agreed.
he's not getting any younger. Isaiah Bond
No.
is going to be a solid player. I just don't know how I feel about the rest of the guys. Again, you look at
You haven't had a chance to.
no.
In all fairness, I'm not being funny. Look at how, and now Stefanski is with the Falcons, right? Look at how that team has been organized the last 4 years, and I'm using organized with very loose, sarcastic quotes around it. You haven't had a chance to see what about the rest of the guys because to me, like the Jets, there hasn't been there've been moments of consistency, but not enough moments so I can really see what the team is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
just saying.
But yeah, so if you need this season again, I still am all for you need to see you need to see a player for 3 years before you know what you're really going to get. You're going all in with Shador Sanders. You have to give him the best opportunity to show you what he's going to do. So I do think
Mhm.
solid running back, solid tight end, a solid wide
Agreed.
receiver. Not sure what we have in Isaiah Bond yet, but give him one more target. You can't have too many targets. You can't. You're
And
all,
he's a target, and he's a target because he is when he decides to be mobile. I know he wants to be a pocket
yeah,
quarterback, but when he decides to be mobile, he can be dangerous.
yeah. Absolutely. So, giving him that extra weapon, he doesn't have an excuse. If he fails, then at this point, if you're giving him all these weapons, if he fails, that's on him. And I don't
Right.
think that we can point the finger at people are people don't like him because he's a Sanders, because of who his dad is, or because he was cocky, or whatever.
Yeah,
All the
that's
rumors
so
and stuff
lame.
that you
It's so lame.
heard.
So
Yeah.
lame. I'm sorry. It's just has nothing to do with football. I, you know, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there, Lucas. I'm gonna be good. I'll be good, Lucas. Just lame.
Well, I
People who
will.
say that stuff.
Since I rambled on and almost went against my whole philosophy, um, go ahead. We'll move on. Pick number 7, Washington
So
Commanders.
Watch Commander. I love Jaden Daniels. I've always liked him. I like what he brings to the table, and I think he's really hilarious with his commercial, with his center in his commercial. Like, dude, why are you in uniform? So people recognize me. I just love that. I'm sorry, I had nothing to do with the pick. I do believe Dan Quinn can get that defense on track.
Hmm.
And what is a quarterback's best friend? A tight end. And I want a tight end that I could play not just on the on the line to be an extra blocker, but somebody that I could even at some cases bring him out the backfield too for like screenplays and stuff like that. And even though he's not that solid of a hands guy yet, he has he's your anti Travis Kelsey. He's your anti big tight end, and that is Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. He looks more like a bigger running back than he looks like a tight end, but watching what he did at Oregon, and so I need to give some full disclosures. I hate watched Oregon. As a matter of fact, I've always hate watched Oregon. It's a long story. I'm not gonna waste up time here, but they're one of the teams that I will watch, and I want them to lose 678,000 to -15. But I like that kid. I liked what he put on the table. I liked what he did. I liked the way he did it. And I think that would be the difference for Jaden Daniels this year. No, he's not tall. Yes, he's small, but I think that I could run him out of the backfield. I can run him as a tight end. I could even push him out if I want to. And I think I'm getting a winner and somebody who can fit the way Dan Quinn's offensive tend to play.
Yeah, if anybody can turn that defense around, Quinn's gonna be that guy. Um, what I what I think with this particular pick, you're right. He is not, as of right now, he is not that prototypical tight end that we're used to seeing.
No, no,
You have
no.
you. I mean, even now you have uh, teams taking everything really started to change with like you. Well, every now and again you had that athlete that you just said,
Yes,
okay, that is a
yes,
really
right,
good athlete. I'm putting
right.
him at tight end. You had those basketball players who,
Exactly.
the tall, fast, athletic basketball players who were like, okay, you're big, you're 240, 250, 6'5", 6'6", you're going at tight end. And we're gonna see what we can get from you. Your Antonio Gates, your Jimmy Grahams,
Mhm,
those kinds of
mhm,
guys. So he is not the
mhm.
prototypical tight end at all. However, I do think, like you said, Washington for a while, I mean, they always had a really, really solid tight end. I'm drawing
Yes,
a
they
blank
did.
on the one, but it was right after Cooley. I'm drawing a blank on him. I think they might have been there at the same time too. I loved them. I can't remember what his name was though, and I'm gonna kick myself later. Someone let us know, unless my show you remember it. But yeah, we had Chris Cooley there. Then we had, I'm saying we. I'm not a fan of the team, but we had Chris Cooley. Man, I cannot think of his name. But now I think they have. Do they have Zach Ertz still? But if
Oh,
they do have
oh,
Zach
that's a good question.
But if they do have Zach Ertz, health is always a question. So I do think that getting him another solid option out there if he can stay healthy. So they do have Zach Ertz still. However, again, health is a question, and he's not getting
Jordan
any
Reed
younger. Yes,
is
Jordan Reed. Yes, it was
yeah,
Jordan Reed.
because I was sure because he was the guy that I thought, man, if
What
he
we're
was
gonna
on
do is
any
just
other team, if
Yep.
he was on any other team, I think people would know who he was.
Yeah, and I
And
thought,
I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean
no.
I mean, and I'm just he just is, imagine if he was in an offense like with the Patriots or a team that
Oh
actually used
yeah.
their tight end,
Yep.
whereas he to me, again, I could be wrong. I just remembered him, and only I remember because I just like the name Jordan. I think it's a cool name, but to me, he was always option number 3 at best. Rarely was he option number 1. I'm not saying he wasn't option number 1, but rarely was he option number 1.
Yeah.
So that's why that's what sticks out to me about him.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Zach Ertz, he is getting up there in age. They have to find a replacement for him. Solid, solid receivers there for Jane McDaniels. I mean, hey, you should be able to throw anybody in that offense and then be able to put up some half decent numbers. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna hate, not gonna hate on your pick of Sadiq there. Again, it's a need. It's a future need for
Yeah.
them. You'd
Yeah.
rather, and if let's say Zach Ertz does hang around for another season, you don't want to wait until you don't have somebody to go get somebody.
Exactly. You
You
can't
gotta have
I'm
you
so
gotta
you
have
know
that
what?
bridge. You gotta have that bridge.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I apologize. Lucas, I'm sorry. When you go into professional any job in life, but professional sports specifically, they are looking to replace you the second after they get you, the second after they sign you, the second after they draft you, the second after they call you. They're all looking to replace you. Why? Because the game is not going to wait for you to feel like, okay, I want to step down now. The game will tell you when you're not ready anymore. And I don't care what level you play at, the game will tell you, look, dude, no, dude, go home. So that being said, if you play with hurt feelings because they drafted somebody who plays my position, then you then and if you worry about that and not just being better, I'm sorry. You tell imagine how many guys got drafted behind Jerry Rice that were faster, taller, this, that, and other. Not once. What did he do? Just still be better.
Yeah.
Just be better.
Yep.
The if you're really him or her, or you're really that player that you sell yourself to be on your Instatalk account, then be that player. Because if you're not, trust me, everybody else will see it before you will.
Yeah, that is the truth. That is that is the absolute truth. So let's see. So move on. We're gonna move on to
Mhm.
the New Orleans Saints. Man, what what a story that Tyler Shuck was for the
Yeah.
Saints.
Oh, yeah.
They got their future quarterback, and he was he everybody they took him, and everybody's like, oh, the NFL is conspiring against Shador Sanders. I know I'm tying it back into the NFL is
Yeah.
conspiring against Shador Sanders because they took Tyler Shuck before Shador Sanders. Hey, they didn't make the wrong choice from the looks of it. What they do
No.
need to do, if they keep Alvin Kamara, now Alvin Kamara he's not getting any younger, but he's not old, but he's old in running back age, still a solid player. They need to get somebody opposite of Chris Olave to make
Agreed.
sure that that offense continues to run. Now,
Agreed.
I believe that all of the real impact guys are gone, but there's still some solid players out there. And just to bring him in another target, I got to go with Washington's Denzel Boston.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good call.
again, he's
Oh, that's a
another
good. Oh,
guy.
that's a good call.
He's
Yes.
another guy that's improved every single year that he has played.
It, that's
And
exactly
it's
what came to my mind. As soon as you said his name, I said, this dude got better every single year, buried out there on the West Coast, not getting. I mean, you have to watch his games on Peacock at 12 o'clock at night, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, I'm not trying to be nasty, but that's just reality of it. Of when you're out that far, it takes a lot for you to get looked at. It takes a lot for you to get noticed, especially if you're not a quarterback. And the fact that he did, I'm sorry, I cut you off. That's a great call. Great call by you.
no, yeah, it's just I do think every team needs to have two potential ones. And again, I
Hmm.
think the day one impact players are off the board, but Denzel Boston doesn't need to be a day one impact player. They got Olave
No.
out there. So I do think giving Shuck um, another target out there to help him improve. I think that it is going to help improve that offense. And then I really think after that, this team should be able to focus moving forward. They should be able to focus on that defense and really becoming a well-rounded team.
When you are in the worst division in the NFL, there was a very low bar to get better. And the NFC South, yeah, I said it that way, is the worst division in the NFL.
Didn't the winner have a losing record?
Yep, and, oh, by the way, 3 teams finished tied in terms of records, so that just tells you, just I don't call that parity, I call that suckity. So, anyway,
Well, I guess
I'm
there is a
sorry.
big difference. No, there is a big difference. I mean, you do have where you're right. All three, 8 and 9. The Saints were the worst, 6 and 11. But that's the thing; they're only 2 games away from potentially
Exactly,
being the first place team in the NFC South. But then you
and
look
I
at a
can say
couple
this.
years. Go ahead.
No, 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 go ahead,
I was
go.
gonna say, but then you look at 2 years ago when you had the NFC North, where every team had 75 wins, and
Mm,
every team had the
mhm,
possibility of making the playoffs. Like,
mhm,
there's a difference between that and uh, the South is not bad players, but man, none of those teams played they played to lose. They wanted it's like they played
yeah,
for their opponent,
yeah,
for the other
yeah,
teams in the division
yeah,
to
yeah, you
do
know what?
better than them, and nobody wanted
God,
it. Nobody wanted it.
dang it. Dang it, Bob, you're the worst. You just said that so perfectly. You're the worst because that's exactly what happened. It's one thing to play down to your opponent when you're a better team. It's another thing to play worse than your opponent because you don't know what you're doing. And you said play to lose. That's exact man. I watched so many games where teams look if you got okay for our beautiful, wonderful, incredibly intelligent listeners, especially you, Lucas. You're amazing. Go back and look at just go do like the short little clips on wherever you can watch like the highlights of a game. Just do NFC South game highlights week to week and watch how many games were won because of missed field goals, because of dumb penalty play, because just dumb stuff that happened in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds of a game that changed the fate of these teams. How many games? For instance, the Falcons had the best shot of being the division being the division champion again and still didn't do it. What does that tell you? You played to where you are. That's why they got a new coach now. So that being
Yeah.
said, the one the and the team that was the worst record wise was the best talent wise, and that was the Saints.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll do so Maestro, I do want to preface this. I hate to do this because I told Maestro before the episode, I said, we're doing the full first round. We're doing the full first round. He told me to keep an eye on the clock because we could go on for hours and hours
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
my fault. It's my
No,
fault.
it's both of us. We just sometimes I'm not afraid to contradict myself and admit that I contradict myself. And I think I took forever with the which pick was that? The Cleveland Browns. I
Yeah,
took
yeah.
I took forever because I was about to contradict myself, and I'm just like, I'll fix it. We're gonna go 2 more picks. We're gonna round out number 9, number 10, and then we are going to pick this up. We are gonna do the full first round. But we clearly maybe I'll start putting timers on the board and we can like the actual draft. Maybe
Like
that's what
that
we have.
draft.
That's what we have to
I
do,
love
my
it.
show. We're gonna
I love it.
anytime we do a mock draft, we're gonna have to do the
I
put a
love it.
timer up there. So
2
you
minutes. 2
yep,
minutes.
two
No,
minute
3,
two
3,
minutes
3,
on
3, 3.
2.5. All
2,
right.
okay, 2.5. I
All
like
right.
see,
So
listen, that's how we United Nations my butt. We can work this out.
so pick number 9. Your wonderful Kansas City Chiefs. Where are you going?
So, I have chief derangement syndrome because I still think they're that team. I just think and I just think the amount of games that they play, remember, they've played an entire season more than everybody else over the last 5 years, and I just think it caught up with them.
Yeah.
I think them not making the playoffs this year, I think gave them another refocus that any other team any other team that doesn't do homework, I'd be worried about. I'm not worried about them, but I like to see them do something on defense that they didn't have, and that is they were their best when they had, like, Honey Badger, when they
Oh
had those
yeah.
kinda cats,
Oh,
you
already
know
know where you're going.
you know where I'm going with
I
this?
already know
Yeah.
where you're going.
Mansour Delane,
Oh,
LSU
didn't know where
cornerback.
you were going.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, you didn't? Okay, okay. Yeah, and listen, Imma tell you why. He is out of that LSU cornerback school, like Honey Badger, a couple other cats too, but the one thing that he actually did consistently well, and again, okay, I watched every LSU game at least twice. Some I watched a few more times because I had a feeling Georgia would have to go up against them. And also, I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate watch LSU because of who was their coach. So, okay, I don't mind that, I'm petty about some stuff. That being said, I love how he tackles. Already in college, he tackles like a pro, and he hits and tackles. And oh, by the way, he's just as fast as any other weapon that I saw him go against in in a conference that has some not so shabby wide receivers. So that's why I like him. Yes, you can say Maestro has SEC balance, but in all fairness, and as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do next college season, I make a promise. Every week I'm gonna post all the college games I watched each week. So you guys can actually see that me and Bob, we don't just sit around and wait for somebody to tell us what happened. We actually do watch the games. And I don't mind sharing my list with you. And I don't mind letting you know how many of them I watch twice because I catch them on the replays or whatever. That being said, I like this kid. I like the way he does. I like the way he plays. And also he looks he looks like one of those cornerbacks that would just give you nightmares going across the middle with.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually honestly because we still have the reason I thought I knew where you were going is we still have what I think is probably the top defensive playmaker on the board still, and that's Caleb Downs. But Mansour
Yeah.
Delight, he's still out there, but I thought when you brought up Honey Badger, but Honey Badger was all over the field. He was
Yes.
all over the field. So that's why my mind went there.
Honey
But
Badger was an angry Troy Polamalu to me.
yeah. Could you imagine if Palomalu actually played angry?
Oh
I,
my good. Oh,
I
listen to our viewers, our listeners. If you did not get a chance to actually see Troy Polamalu in his day, I mean, I hate to say he never didn't have a day, but there are games. Just Google Troy Polamalu highlights, and you watch. First of all, you forget that the guy's a safety because he was everywhere on the field, and he would know the offensive book better than the offense because there were times he got interceptions or blocked passes or stopped plays that there was no way he should have been where he was. I mean, just physically, there was no way. So that guy, super high IQ, super high knowledge for the game, and again, goes to church for 4 hours on a Sunday. So Sunday morning before the game. So that being said, I'm just saying. But
he
anyway,
should
sorry.
if he should have he probably could have played a couple more years if they would have moved him to linebacker.
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
yeah.
I agree with you. And by the way, he's the kind of player that I would ask him, "What do you want to play today?"
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
I would know no matter where I put him, I know he would impact the game.
yeah, I just say I know I say that for the speed factor. Obviously, when corners and safeties, when they start getting all the receivers, when they start to lose their speed, just moving him down there, he's still got that athleticism and everything.
Mhm.
But no, that man, so yeah, he's arguably the best defensive, and I know what I said. I feel like you can always argue a couple of the top guys as being the top guys, but he's arguably the top defensive back in college football, and he's another guy who significantly improved over the years, and he was a real lockdown cornerback for LSU this season.
Yeah.
He absolutely, you were not getting. I think he gave up. It was what was it? He gave up 165 yards for the 2025 season. 165. That's I
Wow.
for some
Wow.
corners. That's one game going up against an elite.
I know. I
guy.
know.
And
I know.
it's not like they played slouches out there. They still played Bama, Oklahoma. I know Clemson didn't have a great year, but they still played Clemson. Ole Miss, they still had talented people, talented teams that they went up against, and he absolutely decimated them. He had a down 2024 season comparative to his last season here. Um, but he greatly improved, and he was what I think he showed us is 3 years ago. Well, I've been trying to think of how to say it. Not three, 2 years ago. I'm gonna say it like this: this year, last year, 2 years ago. This year, he proved that he is an elite talent. Last
Hmm.
season, he took a big dip from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he still showed that he was a very good player.
Yeah.
And then last season, he took that dip, and he could have gotten into his feelings about it, been disappointed, kind of took a back seat. He clearly put in the work to go, no, that was a down season, and I'm going to prove to
Hmm.
everybody that that is not a down season and that I
And why
am
was it a down
that guy.
season? Again, say it. Say the words. Why was it a down season? Because guess what? We know you now.
Yeah,
We know you now. You know what? You know what, Bob? I had a coach tell me one time. By the way, in 3 different sports, I had a coach tell me the same thing. Totally different place than whatever. Coach told me the same thing. If they know your name, son, that means they planned for you before this game.
yeah,
That means you. That
yep,
means that means you got to be. That means you got to be a whole step faster and 5 brains smarter than what you are right now to disrupt what they're gonna do. Accept the pain, accept the pain, and push through and make it happen. Because that means if you're able to do that when they plan for you, then you start taking their heart.
yeah. That's some great. That's some motivational stuff. I remember hearing from my coaches. Come on, Boo, what are you doing? So great motivational quote there from Maestro. But again, yeah, I mean, again, between him and Caleb Downs, I don't think you could go wrong. And
No.
to get either one of those guys at number 9,
Yes. Yes.
that's huge.
Yeah, I
Now,
agree.
I'm going to go back a little bit on what I said. Again, I've done it a lot where I'm going to assume that the guys that are free agents, that these guys are going to be able to bring these guys back in. Um,
Understood.
I don't know for the Bengals, number 10. That's where we're moving on to. I am not sure they're going to be able to keep Trey Hendrickson. I just feel like there was so much. It's him and Max Crosby. I just feel like there's so much between those two. There's no way that he's going to be a Bengal next season, which means he's probably going to be a Bengal next
Really?
season. They'll be a Bengal
Yeah.
next season because they're going to probably franchise tag him and then trade him. I feel like they franchise tagged him. I can't remember if he got franchise tagged or not, or did he sign a contract? I don't
He
think he's
signed. No, he
no. I don't
signed.
think he did. I don't think he did. He might have signed. I think they franchise tagged him and he eventually signed that. But I don't think that he signed a long term. I do believe he's going to be a free agent. That said, I can't let this guy fall anymore. I did have him in the initial mock draft that I was doing by myself. I had this guy going number 5, so I think he's going to be a steal at number 2. I'm going to get the Bengals some more defensive help and take Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami.
Oh, good
Yeah,
call.
just he has dropped way too far. Uh, but he is a guy who another guy who did did pretty solid 2 seasons ago. Last year dipped a little bit in that productivity, but then really came on for the runner-ups in the national championship game. And I think that if you look at that Cincinnati defense, there are a lot of positions that they could get better at. And I think that Ruben Bain is a guy who, yes, he's 6'3", 270. He can shed a
Hmm.
little bit of weight. I think he's going to be a guy that you're going to see lining up defensive end, lining up at linebacker, be able to rush the ball from 4 different spots on the field, throw him in the middle if you really need to. Again, you mentioned Warren Sapp earlier. Warren
Yeah.
Sapp wasn't a huge guy.
No, no,
He
not at
wasn't
all.
he wasn't tiny, but
He was
you look at
violent. He was
yeah, he was
violent. He
violent.
was
He was
violent.
violent.
Yeah.
He was in shape. He was in shape compared to what well, I mean, until later in his
Well,
career, and then
well, round is a shape. Look, listen, round is a shape. Okay. Sorry,
um,
too soon.
never too soon. Uh, but no, I think getting them an extra pass rusher on defense. I could have went Caleb Downs on here, and I don't like that he's fallen so much in this one. But I do think,
Right.
like we said, there's a couple of guys where we could say, man, they're really above the rest, and everybody else. It just felt like all the rest of the talent kind of leveled out. But that's what's crazy is I think Caleb Downs was one of those guys who clearly was above the rest. But that just shows what we prioritize versus other teams,
Right.
for other guys. But I know people are going to be kicking us, and it took us a
Oh,
while to get
absolutely.
it took us a while to get back to defense. We went I think 7 straight picks looking at we not defense number one overall, and then 7 straight offensive players. So,
Hmm.
but hey, that's what we think the teams need. But yeah, I
And
think
and and you know what? I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry. Go No, no, go ahead. Finish your thought, Boo. Finish your thought,
No,
Boo.
just
Finish
gonna
your thought.
say I just they need to get some more pressure on the quarterback. They need Joe Burrow to stay healthy. That offensive line for the Bengals. I know that a couple years ago, I think was it his rookie year when they made it to the Super Bowl. I can't. It was either his rookie year or his second season, one of the two. And where he was getting sacked left and right. This particular team, I mean, they had a solid. They played solid. Their offensive line played
Had to
solid.
be the second year. Why? Why do I remember him losing to the Chiefs his rookie year and not being able to get to the?
Did he lose
I
to the
don't know.
Chiefs
I'm
or
so.
the Rams? I thought they lost to the Rams. Or
No,
am
I
I
mean,
wrong?
no, I mean, no, no, I
Oh,
mean, they
before
didn't
this.
make it to the Super Bowl because yeah, before the Super Bowl. I thought for some reason I thought they lost to yeah, yeah. You're right. They did lose to the Rams in the Super Bowl, but I was talking
Yeah.
about I think the AFC Championship
Oh, yeah.
game
That's a
lost
dumb
to
thing
the.
for me to say, anyways, because obviously they're both in the AFC. So I don't want.
It's okay. Listen,
It's
wait.
hey,
The
it's late when we're recording right now. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And oh, by the way, Boo, before I forget, we're both right. He did sign a restructured contract last year, 1 year deal for $30 million.
Okay.
Trey Hendrickson. But the thought is that they are going to do exactly what you just said. The common thought across the table is that they're going to tag and trade him
Yeah.
this season.
And even if they just tag him and don't trade him, they still need to have his backup ready. Not his backup, but his. They need to have his replacement ready to go. And that's
Why
where
do
it
you
take.
think? I'm so sorry. You're so right. I cut you off again because I'm sorry.
Nah,
Why do you think why do you think he can't play with the other dude? What is it with guys now that they can't play together?
this was this has been bubbling. I don't personally think it has anything to do with anybody other than he just wants to be paid as the highest paid player, and they don't want to pay him as the highest paid player because you're constantly you want to be the highest paid player, but as soon as you become the highest paid player, tomorrow you're going to be the second highest paid player because that next person is going to get that contract, and then next person is going to get that contract, which is why I really think that there needs to be some kind of restructuring with how these contracts and stuff
They don't
work.
have
I
to.
don't know. It's
Boo, they don't have to. They okay.
the salary cap is not real. I will
No,
say,
no, no.
yeah, let's say that because the Vikings have consistently found a way to be under the salary cap and find a way to re-sign and bring in
Mhm.
tons of guys. So yes, the salary cap is a farce. However, I don't know. I don't know.
When every team is getting at least $125 million a season just to share their health and stat information with like the betting sites. That's why the injury list has to be in a certain time, certain days, and stuff like that. Because I don't, and our listeners and our viewers might know this already. So if I'm saying something you already know, I apologize. But each team gets $120 to $125 $125 million a season just to give their injury and their health stat information as well as their depth chart every week to all the betting services. So that's not having to do anything other than just email a list. It's 120 million bucks for the year
Mm.
just for that, and we're not even gonna say the other stuff. So
All
again,
the
if
ad
our viewers,
revenue and everything like that.
yeah, 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 but it's just a little side stuff that you would never think of, like how these betting sites get all this information because they get it directly from the teams. Because why? They're licensing it for 120 million bucks a year,
Yep.
so per team.
Mm.
So again, if our viewers knew that already, I apologize for just telling you something you already knew. But it's just they get money from all. I mean, they don't even have a couch. It's basically money shaped like a couch.
But yeah, so hey, so that's wrapping that up. That was pick number
Yeah.
10. We're gonna run through real quick. This is like, again, you heard it here first. In the pocket, mock draft. Keep the receipts. Pick number
Keep the
one,
receipts.
Oakland Raiders. Jesus. Las
I
Vegas
know, right?
Raiders, linebacker out of Georgia, C.J. Allen. Pick number 2, Jets, quarterback out of Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. Pick 3, Cardinals, wide receiver out of USC, Makai Lemon. Pick 4, tackle out of Miami, Francis Mauigoa. Pick number 5, Giants, wide receiver out of Ohio State, Carnell Tate. Cleveland Browns, pick number 6, wide receiver out of Arizona State, Jordan Tyson. Pick number 7, Washington Commanders, tight end out of Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq. Pick number 8, Saints, wide receiver out of Washington, Denzel Boston. Pick number 9, Kansas City Chiefs, cornerback out of LSU, Mansour Delane. And pick number 10, Cincinnati Bengals, edge rusher, linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call him, out of Miami, Ruben Bain Jr. That leaves, I'm just going to name a couple of the guys that are still on the board for when we pick it up next time. Still got edge rusher David Bailey out of Texas Tech, Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame, Sonny Styles sitting there at Ohio State. I did have him going a little bit higher in my own one. Peter Woods, Jermod McCoy, corner out of Tennessee. Got a couple. There's a couple of the guys that are still out there. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll wait and see where those guys fall on. Maybe we'll. I think so. Here, how about this, Maestro? We will. It is in for the draft too. It's a little reminiscent of the draft. We will have a timer for any future mock draft we do, including the rest of the first round. How about that?
I love it.
And I'll try and figure out. Maybe I'll have one of those fancy things that streamers have that you can press
Yeah.
buttons and make all kinds of noises. And I'll have like
Hey now,
we'll do. I
don't
don't
threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good
know.
time, boo.
I'll be fancy. But all right, well, Maestro. I know. Lucas, we appreciate. Sorry for the delay on this episode, but we
Sorry for the delay,
appreciate.
Lucas.
Yep,
Sorry for getting your name wrong, Lucas. Love you, bro.
he is.
Sorry,
He
bro.
really is. He is sick, so I will forgive him this time. Um, but yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate the question from 2 weeks ago. Maestro, do you have any final words for the people?
I just cannot thank all of the support enough. And I know Maestro says this every week because I mean it. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not ashamed to say that I thought Big Bob and I'll be doing this and maybe 5 people will watch us every now and then. But the fact that some of you not only watch us, but you follow us, you give us questions, stuff like that. It means a lot to know that 2 jamokes talking whatever we're talking and getting off the rails makes you guys actually pay attention to us and actually give us such great feedback on what we can do better and what you want to hear and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
there's lots of guys. Everybody has a podcast nowadays, so we appreciate those of you that stick around and listen to us and give us your feedback and everything. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. And just you mentioned followers, and I just TikTok. We hit 1,000 followers.
Woo!
Woo! We hit the magic number on TikTok. So we appreciate all you guys. But hey, we hope we appreciate. Hold on, where are we at? Hold on, it's. Am I sick too, Maestro? Maestro, I love
I
you.
might have got you sick. I
Appreciate
might have got you
you
sick.
as
Yes, brother.
always. I
Yes,
appreciate
brother.
everybody that listens. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.